Hello, and thank you for watching. My name is Luis Demos, and today I will be presenting remote work and mental health. How does working remotely affect mental health? So in this presentation, we're going to explore the new employment landscape and how it affects its employees. The new employment landscape. So today, as we know, many jobs have transitioned from traditional office work to remote and hybrid work, promoting flexibility and kind of changing tradition that we've had for a long time where a lot of people go into the office and do their work and go home. Now, a lot of people are able to work from home. They're able to work while they travel, and the dynamics really shifted. So, using a data set provided by Kaggle, we will look at the new employment landscape, which is remote and hybrid work, and we'll see how it's affecting its employees' well-being. The data set we chose included a lot of factors, but some of the factors that we're going to focus on today are going to be work location, age, stress levels, mental health conditions, and social isolation rating. So what we want to know, what we're looking to discover is, do hybrid/remote workers experience negative mental health impacts from their work? How does remote work impact feelings of job satisfaction? And what impact does age have on mental health conditions in a remote work setting? Mental health impacts from work, hybrid versus remote. Does mental health negatively impact, or excuse me, does remote work negatively impact mental health? And we're also going to consider hybrid here as well. Some common effects that employees have reported are depression, anxiety, social isolation, and burnout. So we're going to take a look at that. Here we have a bar graph. It shows the three working groups, hybrid, on-site, and remote, with average social isolation rating and the couple of mental health conditions that we have spoke about here. So anxiety, burnout, and depression. And we also have a group for those who have reported to have no mental health condition. For remote work, we see slightly lower isolation ratings than hybrid workers. On-site workers are reporting the lowest social isolation ratings, and hybrid work actually are reporting the highest average of social isolation, which is fascinating. Mental health trends include employees without mental health conditions are reporting slightly higher social isolation ratings than those with anxiety, depression, or burnout. And also, our social isolation levels are remaining relatively consistent across the board. So not too much of a difference here from our hybrid on-site and remote employees reporting social isolation. They're all relatively the same, but there is kind of a difference between some of the groups. It's just a very slight margin. How does remote work impact feelings of job satisfaction? So what we want to see here is, are on-site employees more pleased with the work as opposed to hybrid and remote workers? And also a point that I want you guys to think about is hybrid work the best working solution? As we kind of go through here, we're going to see if we can answer that question. How does remote work impact feelings of job satisfaction? So on the left-hand side here, we have work-life balance for hybrid, remote, and on-site with reported stress levels of high, medium, and low, and an average work-life balance rated 1 through 5. And on the right side, we're going to see job satisfaction with neutral, satisfied, and unsatisfied, and also including that social isolation rating. So let's talk about social isolation and job satisfaction. Remote workers have slightly lower levels of social isolation compared to hybrid and on-site workers. Meanwhile, we see that remote workers show the most variability in job satisfaction. So it's interesting to see if we go back. Hybrid and on-site look relatively similar with job satisfaction, but when we look at the remote group, we see that there's kind of a gap between those who are satisfied and in the neutral group. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. We're also seeing that hybrid workers have moderate levels of social isolation, but maintain balanced job satisfaction across the group. So it seems that hybrid work so far is the best solution as far as being satisfied. We do see higher levels of isolation, but that does come with more satisfied work. Work-life balance and stress levels. Remote workers have great work-life balance under low stress conditions, which is great. However, remote workers experience lower work-life balance under medium and high stress levels, suggesting that stress may negatively impact satisfaction, which makes sense. Nobody wants to be stressed at work. We all know that. And it's interesting, and it plays into the reason why we took age into account for some of this as well. What I was thinking was remote workers that are under medium and high stress are probably more inclined to be of a younger group, and they probably have higher workloads. They're trying to get a lot of stuff done. They're trying to move up in their careers. So it does make sense that under medium and high stress that they would be a little less satisfied with the work. And hybrid workers consistently maintain better work-life balance across all stress levels, indicating that flexibility could be a key role in satisfaction. So now we're going to look at what impact does age have on mental health condition in a remote work setting. Looking at a large variety of ages, we want to determine how age plays a role in this. Will younger groups be more inclined to experience negative mental health impacts? And what about older age groups? So on the left-hand side, again, we do have another graph. It's displaying on-site and remote workers from ages 23 to 59, so the beginning of their careers to close to retirement. And we also have mental health conditions again of anxiety, burnout, and depression. And we also have that other group of none that reported. So impact of age on mental health in remote work settings. With the younger group, we can see that they reported higher levels of anxiety and burnout in remote work compared to their older counterparts. And we see with the older work group that there's fewer mental health issues such as anxiety or burnout in the remote work setting. With social isolation, we see remote workers, regardless of age, tend to experience higher levels of social isolation than on-site workers. So is hybrid work the ideal employment opportunity? As we kind of went through most of our data, we found that hybrid workers were less inclined to stress. They had more job satisfaction. And although the social isolation ratings were a little higher, it seemed like all the other factors were kind of in a good place. So hybrid work could be the best employment opportunity out of the three. Couple of takeaways from our slides here. Some overall job satisfaction. Remote and hybrid work provided flexibility, but are linked to increased feelings of social isolation, which we talked about. Job satisfaction tends to decline as social isolation increases, especially for younger workers. Some mental health considerations. Younger workers in remote settings face higher risk of anxiety and burnout, which is emphasizing the need for mental health resources. It's really important to have that in the workplace, and it would certainly help with lowering our likeliness of experiencing these conditions. Older workers demonstrate resilience, but are still prone to some impacts from remote work dynamics. Some possible solutions. So we're going to address social isolation and mental health in remote work. So some of the things we can do to help here are team building, implement team building exercises to engage your employees with one another and to truly build a team. It feels great to be a part of the team. You want to have some kind of rapport with the people you work with. It's a great thing to step into the office, see some familiar faces, have a great conversation, and be able to collaborate with one another. Hybrid work opportunity. We've drove this point home quite a bit, but offer employees the option to work on site and at home to balance social interaction and flexibility. And support for mental health. Provide mental health resources like counseling and implementing workshops. And you want to be able to create a culture where everybody's happy to come to work and feels comfortable. And if they ever needed somebody to speak to, they have that option available. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That's going to be it for today. Um, I hope you enjoyed.